Now today we are discussing about derivatives or derivatives analysis, a past paper from 2016 main, question 2D. But before that, I want to inform you that we have textbooks, study texts, as well as revision kits. You can get them from Nairobi, Savanes Bookshop Center, Nakuru, Machakos, and other major towns in the country. Now, before we take the past paper concerning the futures, I want us first to remind you what is the meaning of derivatives. This is one of our study texts. Now, from page 9, you find the meaning of a derivative there. And we define a derivative as products whose value is derived from one or more basic variables called underlying assets or base. Now, before we take the question from the past paper, I want to give an example of a derivative, how they operate. Now, assume that you have a factory whereby you manufacture bread. Now, here what you use is the wheat as the ingredient. That is the side of the factory. On the other side, you have the farmer who supplies you with the wheat. You as the manufacturer, you are concerned about the prices going up in the future. Now, if the prices go up for wheat, as the manufacturer, you are likely to pay more. On the other side, you have the farmer who is the supplier. He is concerned that the prices in the future may come down. So you can see there are two things there. One of the participants in the market is concerned about the prices going up. The other one is concerned about the prices going downwards. Now, in this case, we have to agree today about a particular price that the purchaser will pay regardless of the prevailing market price. Now, if, for example, we agree that in the future, maybe next year, I will purchase the wheat at 100 shillings per kg, regardless of the prevailing market price by then. It means even if the prices go up to 120, the manufacturer will pay 120, even if the prices are below 120. So in that case, the manufacturer will be losing. On the other side, if the prices come down, it means that the manufacturer will pay less. So the farmer will be losing. So in that case, we do so as to mitigate the risk of the price fluctuations. Now, I want us to go straight away to our question, which is to do with the futures price, and that is May 2016, question 2D. Now, you are told a futures contract has a... Now, remember here you are dealing with futures, and we have different... now, futures is one of our examples of derivatives. We have other derivatives like forwards, options, swaps, and the like. Now, this question is about the futures. Now, you are told a futures contract has a current price of shillings 212. The initial margin requirement is shillings 10, and the maintenance requirement is shillings 6. An investor goes long 20 contracts and meets all the margin calls and does not withdraw any excess margin. The futures price in the days following are as shown below. That is, now let's show what we have is here. We have here, the question is May 2016, question 2D. Now you are told the futures prices are given here. So we have the day and then we have the future price. We have the futures price. Now this is in shillings. That is like that. Now you are told you have here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are the days. Then we have the futures price in shillings. We have 212, 211, 214, then 209. We have 210, 204, and 202. Now these are the futures prices. Now required the investor's total gain or loss by the end of day 6. That is what you are required. Now let me read the question again. A futures contract has current price of shillings 212. So this is a current price of 200 shillings 212. The initial margin requirement is shillings 10. So they put the initial margin requirement. So I can just write it somewhere here. Initial margin requirement is shillings 10, and the maintenance requirement is shillings 8. We have maintenance requirement. Maintenance requirement is shillings 8. An investor goes long 20 contracts. So contracts here, the investor goes long 20 contracts and meets all the margin calls and does not withdraw any excess margin. So that is what you find here. These are very important. Now we are told to calculate the investor's total gain or loss by the end of day 6 here. Now I want to assume that you have the past paper, the original paper, and then I assume that you have this information. Now I want to give a solution, and I think I'll do away with this one. I don't know if this will be enough space, so it means I'll have to. Now you can just check that one in a few seconds, then I'll erase that information. I show you the calculation or how to go about it. The photo there, then I'll just erase the entire information. Then I show you the solution here now. Now I'll have the day here. I have the days there. Then I'll have future price. No, let me have beginning balance. Beginning balance, I'll write that way, the beginning balance. Then I have funds deposited. We have funds deposited, then I have future price. Future price is there. Then I have price change. In the other column there. Then gain or loss. Gain, stop loss. Now the last column there, it has gone very far. Now the last column there for me will be the ending balance. Ending balance. Ending balance. I don't know whether it is legible. Now that is what we have there. Now for the days now, you have days 0 to 6 as it appears as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just as it is in your paper. Now we have the future price, which is also given. The future prices column here. Remember, say derivatives, you have either forwards, futures, options, swaps, and the like. But here you're doing the futures. So here we have the futures price, which was given. We have 202. Then we have 211 for year 1. It's for 0 period. They start the 1 to 11. Then we have 214 by the second. Third, we have 209. And then fourth, we have 209. Then we have 210, 204, and then 202. And there are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we are wrong. Should be 212, 211, 214, 209, 210, 204, 206. Yeah, they are supposed to be that because of 0. So that is correct for that. The futures price are given. Now from there now, how do we fill this table now? What is remaining? We want to see how do we fill the remaining these gaps here and there. Now the beginning balance, remember, is a 0. The beginning balance when we are starting is a 0. Now the funds deposited, see, you are told that the initial margin requirement is shillings 10. Now if the initial margin requirement is 10 and there are 20 contracts, then the funds deposited here by the start is 200. So it means 20 contracts times 10, the initial margin requirement. So that is why we are getting 200 here. So this is 20 contracts times 10, that is 200. Now the other column that we can fill here is the price changes. Now this we can fill this column here. The price changes from here to here. Now what is the price change for at the beginning? Now at the beginning there is no price change because we are just at 212. Now from here to here, the price change is the difference between 211 and 212. So 211 minus this one is -1. Now here you have -1. So you're saying this minus that. Now here 214 minus 11 is 3. Now 3 is a positive number, that was negative. 209 minus 214 is -5. This minus that. Now the next one is 1, which is +1. That minus that. And then the next one is 204 minus 210, which is -6. And then the last one is -2. That is 202 minus 204. Now these are the price changes then. So that is how you get that column for the price changes. Now from there we have the gain or loss here. Now that column, we want to see what is the gain or loss in that case. Because we have 20 contracts, our gain here is 0 because it is 20. 20 times 0 is 0. The next is a loss. of 20 is negative 1 times 20 contracts. Next one is positive 60 is 20 contracts times 3. Now this is negative, because it is 20 times negative 5, 20 times positive 1 is 20 times this one. Remember, we have 20 contracts as per the question. Negative 6 times 20, negative 120, and then lastly 20 times negative 2. I think that is correct, negative 4. Now with that, I think up to this one, that's a simple thing. Now the future prices have been given here. The change in price here is just this one minus that. So you're getting this one. Then you multiply by 20 here. Now here, these are funds deposited at the start. Now here, what is our ending balance? Now our ending balance here, because we started with 200, remember here, we have 20 contracts times the initial margin requirement of 10. As per the question. So here we say 20 times 10, which is 200. There is neither loss nor gain. So the ending balance there definitely will be 200. That is our ending balance at day 0. Now our ending balance definitely becomes our opening balance. So by the first day, our opening balance is 200, which this is our ending balance. That becomes our opening balance. Now what is the funds deposited? Now you see our balance should not go below 200 shillings. And if it goes below 200 shillings, then it means you must top up with the difference to refund or to return the balance to 200. Now let's see this. Now if we have 200 shillings, it means we will not be depositing an amount at the period 1. Now let's see what will happen there. What will be our ending balance? Because you started with 200 by the start of day 1. We have a loss here. Check that. You started with 200 shillings. We have a loss of 20. So our ending balance will be 180. You have said 200, this figure here, minus 20. We have 180. Now 180 is a closing balance by the end of day 1. So that becomes our opening balance by the start of day 2. So this becomes 180. 180. Now 180. Now again you have to note somewhere that this point is very important, that the maintenance requirement is 8 and we have 20 contracts. So this 160, that figure is very important. Now it is the one that is guiding us to see whether our balance, basically our balance should not go below 160. So at 180, our balance is not below 160. So the deposit here will be 0 because the balance in our account has not yet fallen below 160, this figure here. Remember, we have 20 contracts and the maintenance requirement is 8 shillings. Now day 2, that is the second period, we have 180, deposit 0, but here we have a gain of plus 60. So 180 plus 60 gives us 200. 240. So our opening balance is 240. How did you get that? Is 180, the opening balance, plus 60, 240. So this one becomes our opening balance here. I think 83240. That is our opening balance. Now this figure is not less than 160. So we are not depositing anything in our account. So here you are depositing a 0. You deposit a 0 there. No, but here, this period we have minus 100. So 240 is the opening balance. You are minusing 100, which gives you 140. 140. Now this one is very important now for us, because you can see that our account is not supposed to go below 160, but now see here, our balance has fallen below 160. So what are we supposed to do in that case? So you have to compare this 160 here and the 140. What are we supposed to do? Now what you do is that, because you have to restore the account back to 200 shillings by the start of this period here, you have the opening balance basically is the 140, but you must deposit 60 to restore the figure to 200. You have to restore the figure to 200 shillings. So you have to make a deposit here. You can see from here, you are not making any deposits here, because the amounts had not fallen below 160. But once the figure has fallen below 160, you have to top up the account to restore the amount to 200 shillings. So that is why here you deposit 60 shillings to get the 200 back to that figure. So what is going to be our balance? That is the question. Now because we have 140 plus 60, which is 200, plus 20 here. So that means 220. The closing balance will be 220, because the opening balance was 140, but you have to deposit 60 shillings to restore the figure to 200. So 200 plus this 20 is 220. And that becomes our opening balance here. So this is 220 opening balance. Then the figure now is not below 160, so there is no deposit there. You are depositing nothing. So 220 minus 120 is 100. So you are saying 220 minus this figure here is 100. The 100 is the opening balance here. 100 is our opening balance there. Now, however, the figure or the amount has fallen below 200. 100 has fallen, that figure is below 200. So we need to restore the figure back to 200. So we deposit 100 there. Because this figure has fallen below 200, you have to restore the figure back to that figure. So you deposit 100 in your account, and your account now has 200. Then the 200 now, what are we supposed to do in that case? Now because you have 200, you less this 40 is a negative 40. So 200 minus 40 is 160. So that is how you could have done that question. But I want to read some notes here which explains further what is happening here. Let's compare with what is in our book and what is in our notes For those who have purchased the textbooks, you find these explanations there in your study text, as well as in your revision kit. Now, in your books, or in our study text, how we explained this question somewhere, we said on day 1, you deposit shillings 200 here. I think we could have said day 0, but I don't know whether we have day 0. But that statement is referring to this deposit here. On day 0, you deposit $200 or shillings, because the initial margin requirement is 10 shillings per contract, and you go long 20 contracts, that is 20 times 10. So we are trying to explain how we got this figure here. It's just 20 times 10. You find it in the question. That is where you are told the initial margin requirement is shillings 10 and the maintenance requirement is shillings 8. The investor goes long 20 contracts. So you're explaining how we got this 200 there. That is 200, that is 20 times 10. Then at the end of day 3, the balance is down to shillings 140. So you are referring to this one, day 3. That is at the end of day 3, the balance is down to $140. That is $20 below the $160. So here you have this ending balance there. Day 3 is 140, but here I told you 8 times 20 is 160. So this is below this amount by 20. So what are we told? That is at the end of day 3, the balance is down to $140. That is $20 below the $160 maintenance margin requirement, i.e. $8 per contract times 20 contracts. You must deposit enough money to bring the balance up to the initial margin requirement of $200. So if the figure has fallen below this one, then you have to restore the figure to 200. That is what we're saying there. So the next day, that is day 4, you deposit $60. This figure here, you deposit $60. The price change on day 5, causes a loss of negative 120. Negative 120. This one, the effect of that, you can see here is the effect of what has happened here. There is a loss of negative 120, leaving you with a balance of $100 at the end of day 5. So you have that figure there. Then again, this amount is less than 160 maintenance margin requirement. So this balance here is less than the 160, which is the initial margin requirement. You must deposit enough money to bring the balance up to the initial margin requirement of $200, because the amount has fallen below 200. This figure, you have to deposit 100 shillings there to restore your balance to 200. So on day 6, you deposit $100. So when you come to day 6, that is why here you can see you deposited $200 to restore the amount to 200. That is what you're saying. Then somewhere else we are told, so you are told you must deposit enough money to bring the balance up to the initial margin requirement of $200. So on day 6, you deposit $100. By the end of day 6, the price is 202. So you can see the futures price here. Now these ones were given, those figures were given here. So by the end of day 6, the price is 202. A decrease of $10 from your purchase price of 212. So if you compare here 212 and this figure here, the difference is 10. That is what we are saying there. That is so on day 6 you deposit $100. By the end of day 6 the price is 202, a decrease of $10 from your purchase price of 212. Then your loss so far is 10 per contract. So here we mean 212 minus 202 is $10 per contract times 20, because we have 20 contracts, is $200. You should also look at your loss so far as follows. You initially, is the other way of explaining that, so your answer is here, but also you can explain this way. You could also look at your loss so far as follows. You initially deposited $200 followed by margin calls of 60. This margin call of 60, and I think the other one was this one. There's the only margin calls here, 60 and 100, followed by a margin calls of 60 and 100. Thus, you have deposited a total of 360. I think when you add 200 plus 60 plus 100, that is 360. That is the point we have explained there. That is what we mean by saying that you initially deposited $200 followed by margin calls of 60 and 100. Thus, you have deposited a total of $360. This one here, or shillings, whichever currency that you're using so far, and have not withdrawn any excess margin. The ending balance, however, is only 160. So this is the ending balance which you have there at day 6. The ending balance is only $160. Thus, the total loss incurred by you so far. What is the total loss that you have incurred? Is $360. These amounts that you have deposited. You started by depositing $200, then 60 and 100. Remember, these ones are coming as a result of the balances going below 160. Like here, you went to deposit 60. Here you went to deposit 100. So 360 minus 160, which is $200, is the same as this one there, or just $200. So that is how you could have attempted that question. That was May 2016 question 3D. So my name is Mr. Williams. Next time we'll take another similar question. So that is it for today. We meet next time. We have these books which is for CIFA. That is this one, for example, is for derivatives analysis. We have another one here for alternative investment analysis. We also have another one here, fixed income investment analysis. So we have all of them actually, only that we cannot accommodate them here in our table, but all of them, including intermediate, advanced, foundation, including for CPA, ATD, and many others. So next time we will take a similar question concerning derivatives. So we meet next time. Thank you very much.